All right. Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Joyce. Welcome to the channel. Um, I am going to respond to an email that I received through I Am Art House from Tomas, and she said, 7 days ago, "Hi, Joyce. Thanks for the late reply. Please excuse my late reply in return. I somehow missed this email in my inbox. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer some questions for me." She said that she is currently in her second semester of her undergraduate degree and master's programs are on her mind. Excellent. In spite of this, she's unsure if she wants to pursue a master's degree to advance her profession. But because I've forgotten the joy of learning for its own purpose and want to study something I'm passionate about in depth. I am currently completing a bachelor's in global business and digital arts, and so I fear that I might not be as experienced as other applicants, though I am not afraid to work hard to catch up. Love that. That being said, I have a couple of questions, and I will do my best to answer these questions. She said, "Who would you say is best suited to the MST, History of Design program?" I love that question because there really isn't a right answer. So my cohort, we were made up of about less than 20 students, and we came from so many different backgrounds, which was really cool. Personally, I studied politics, so I majored in foreign affairs at UVA, but I had classmates who had professional design backgrounds and were even still and still are design practitioners. And classmates, one was like had a whole career in chemistry, another one was a surveyor. Um, yeah, and we all had various interests, but commonality is an interest and passion for design. What types of experiences and backgrounds do people in the program typically come from? I kind of answered this with the last question, but a wide range. Um, it was pretty interesting. One of my friends, my classmate, she was a German major actually. I would say there were a couple graphic design students who like majored in graphic design. What would you say is your most and least favorite parts of the program? I would say my most favorite part of the program was being able to spend time with our program director, Claire, who was amazing and is amazing. And I remember she would take us to the archives to like look at really old historic books and catalogs. So that was really neat. We weren't like allowed to bring anything except like a pencil. Like you're not allowed to bring pens into those archival library spaces. Would you still take this program again, knowing what you know now? Absolutely, I would 100% take this program again if I could. Um, how easy it is to work with the professors. Are they more hands-off in their approach to teaching? I really loved the way that Claire was really approachable and easy to work with. Like, she is so supportive, and I loved how she said that she wanted to provide pastoral care for her students, like a shepherd taking care of the sheep, because we were very, very clueless, and there are a lot of things. Well, I was clueless at times, but I'm grateful that she was like so supportive, and she would bring in guest speakers too, which were really but it was really incredible getting to hear perspectives of different design historians. Um, and Next question is, how easy is it to work with the professors? Are they, oh, sorry, that was the last question. Is that it is part-time, so you only are in person at Oxford once a month, and I think now it's becoming a hybrid program. So their approach, I would say, is hands-off. Like as a grad student, you're expected to do a lot of independent research on your own, but they do guide you. And for me, like coming in without that art history background that a lot of my classmates may have had, or architecture, or just like formal, classes of like design. I was really grateful for how supportive my professor was, but also at the same time how she allowed her students to give us, like, she gave us room to like learn and grow on our own too. And we had a lot of independence in terms of like which type of research projects we wanted to choose. So I wrote a total of 6 essays during my course at Oxford, and I got to pick every single topic. But of course, for the early essays, it was a bit more rigid on what we got to pick, but at the same time, we still had a lot of autonomy. Um, how have you found this program most useful to you now that you have graduated? I mean, I'm just so grateful to have been able to study at Oxford. Never would have dreamed I would have had that opportunity. So it was truly an incredible experience, and I could not recommend applying for this program more. It was truly an amazing experience. As a part-time program, how much work is required on a weekly basis? Are most students working full-time while in the program? Great question. Most students are working full-time during the program. Typically, work is probably about 20 hours per week. I believe that's what the handbook said. So expect to be taking a rigorous course, but also keep in mind that the students are expected to be working full-time during this course. So yeah, I would say majority of my classmates who weren't retired were working full time. And on that note, how much of the program is on campus? Would I be able to live away from campus whilst completing the program? Absolutely. You may even be able to live in another country. So my classmate and I, there was two of us that lived outside of Europe. So one of my classmates lived in the Middle East, and obviously I'm from the US. So yes, it is possible to live away from campus. I know this is an interview process as part of admissions. What was this like, and can you give me any tips for success? I think if I could tell my younger self, who was a little nervous going into the interview, honestly, if you get an interview, congratulations, because not everyone gets an interview. And the interview is really not supposed to be stressful, even though it can be stressful. I actually thought I did terrible for my interview, but thankfully I got accepted. I was asked a few questions, and I felt like I had terrible answers because I was shown like images and I was supposed to explain them, and I just couldn't explain them very well, in my opinion. But I did show that I am willing to learn and I was willing to work hard. So it was a really challenging time for me, like starting off with the program. Like I had a really tough time at the beginning, but really grateful that I was able to complete the study and receive my master's degree. So yeah, just think about the interview process as a way for you to get to know the course director better and also the program better. And they're getting to know you better, obviously. So just be yourself, have fun, and don't stress out too much. And Thomas said, I know there are a lot of questions here. Of course, there's no need for you to answer them all or any if you are busy or simply do not want to anymore. But I'm really grateful that Thomas, that you asked these questions. They were really fun to answer actually, and like reflect on my experience at Oxford. So thank you for asking them. And I was going to answer more questions about the Royal College of Art graduate diploma that I also did, which was in London. But I think I'm going to save it for another video. And I also just want to see how this audio is because I'm currently in a cafe where there's loud music and people talking. So I may have to record this again, but I hope that this is helpful. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below, and see you in the next video. Thanks.